Hey everyone, and welcome. If you're like me and you're either already splitting your time in the Philippines and the US, or you're thinking about making the move, you've probably noticed that things are a little bit different than back home. And that's a good thing. It's what makes this place so special. But there are some things that can be tough to understand at first. Today, I want to talk about one of the most important concepts in the Filipino culture, and that's something called hiya. Now, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, and I apologize. But if you try to look up the word hiya, you'll probably see it translated as shame or embarrassment. And while that's not totally wrong, it's also not the whole picture. So for us Westerners, right, shame is usually a really negative personal feeling that you get when you've done something wrong. But in the Philippines, hiya is more like a whole social system, right? It's a way of making sure everyone gets along and stays in harmony. Think of it like this. In the West, we're very focused on ourselves as individuals, right? It's our feelings, our achievements. They come first. In the Philippines, the focus is on the group or the family or the community, right? Your friends. They're all incredibly important, and hiya is what keeps that group running smoothly. So how does it work? Well, unlike our idea of shame in the US, which is usually a reaction to something that's already happened, hiya can be a preventative force. People might avoid doing or saying something, not because it's wrong, but because it might cause hiya for themselves or someone else. This is where the idea of saving face comes from in the Philippines, right? Filipinos will go to great lengths to make sure nobody is publicly embarrassed. This is why you'll often see communication being more indirect, right? Instead of saying, "I don't like that idea," a person in the Philippines might say something like, "That's a great idea, but maybe we can also consider this." They're being polite to avoid causing you hiya. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this, it could be pretty frustrating for a Westerner because you don't understand why you can't ever seem to get a straight answer, even when you ask a direct question. Sometimes it might even seem like they're lying to you and just telling you what you want to hear. This concept also plays a really big role in hospitality. As you know, Filipinos are some of the most hospitable people in the entire world. They might offer you a huge feast even if they can't really afford it. And why? That's because of hiya. Of looking like a bad host is worse than the inconvenience of not being able to afford the meal you're providing. So even giving direct feedback can be a challenge, right? In the West, we're used to that direct criticism. But in the Philippines, it can seem very rude and cause immense hiya to the person you're talking to. So, if you're working with a Filipino, try to offer your feedback more gently and privately. So basically, hiya is the cultural guide that helps people navigate relationships and keep things peaceful. Think of it as to the Western concept of praise in public, coach in private. So understanding hiya is one of the biggest keys to a happy life in the Philippines. It helps you understand why people communicate the way they do and how to build strong, lasting relationships. If you can get a handle on this one concept, you're well on your way to truly understanding the wonderful culture around you. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.